And good morning. It's 7:03 on this Wednesday, July 13th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome here on a Wednesday. We welcome you to our program, and we welcome Bob McDonald to talk about Cedarstone Bank, Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Donaldson, simple banking, simply better. Bob, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman. Great to be with you, and thank you for letting me call in these last few weeks. It's been very busy and had some meetings that follow right after this, and I know it's a little bit of a hassle for y'all to get me all hooked up on the phone, but thank you very much for the.
Well, with you, it's not a hassle, and it works real well. And I think you and I know when the other one is through, and the other one's ready to talk again. So we're doing quite well, and I'm glad to hear that you are.
Well, I am. I got to talk to MJ when I called in, so if you will pass along my greetings to Billy when he buzzes back through the studio.
Well, I'm sure he's listening. Any particular event or community endeavor you want to talk about, or you want to just talk banking this morning?
Well, I'll tell you, it's you and I seem to always be on the same thought. There are a couple things I want to mention, and I know your guests will talk more about one of them, but I know starting at 1 o'clock this Saturday is the Watertown Jazz Festival. I know you've had some folks on talking about that, and Susan and I always attend that. We participate at the bank, and they do a great job. They do a great job producing that whole program, and they have great artists, and it's just well organized. They have vendors, and so they do. It's for those of your listeners who don't plan on going, I encourage them to think about doing it. It starts at 1. It goes to like 8 or 9, Coleman. So it's a day-long event of music and fun, and it's right there on the beautiful square of Watertown.
Right. Yeah. They John Jewell and the team with him go all out to make this a wonderful event. And I think last thing is at 9 o'clock, so it probably goes to 10. They each have about an hour.
Yeah. And John, I've enjoyed spending time with John the last couple of years talking about the festival, and I appreciate them giving us a chance to support it. And so congratulations to him and his team, and we look forward to being with them this Saturday. And then after Susan and I do that for a little while, we'll head over to the Phoenix Ball Patrons Party at the beautiful home of Denise and Lynette Moore. And so I know your group will talk about that here in your program, but that's always just a terrific event, and we look forward to a big crowd. And so Susan and I've got a day-long Saturday of all kinds of great things going on in Wilson County.
Well, great things going on at the bank, I know, although interest rates have risen a little bit. I think you're still lending a lot of money.
Well, we are, Coleman. I think we talked a little bit about that last week. Our loan requests in general are really, really high. So we've got a lot of loans that are scheduled to be closing soon, and it's all kinds of loans, Coleman. It's commercial real estate, it's residential real estate, it's automobile loans, it's just general personal loans, it's business equipment loans. So it's just a wide variety and diversity of loans that we have that are in process, as we say. We find that encouraging. Yes, rates are going up, but they're still very low from historical standards. And so it's still a very good time to be borrowing money. And, if you've got that need. And so we enjoy working with our customers on that. But you and I talked, you asked me before we came on the air about what's the Fed going to do. And they meet later this month. And a pretty good chance that we'll see another rate hike. Might not be 75 basis points like we saw last month, probably more like 50 basis points, but a lot of that rate increase is already factored into current rates. So I don't want your customers thinking that they're going to see an immediate bump of a half a point on rates in general, just because of that. We just got to get this inflation thing calmed down a bit. And the Fed seems confident that they can do that. But we talked last week about if we're going to be in a recession. And, Coleman, if you get 10 economists in the room, 5 will say yes, there will be a recession, 5 will say no. But what we do know is that in your listening area, the economy is very stable, it's very diverse. And you remember when we had the recession of 08 and 09, it really wasn't that bad in your listening area as it was at other places across the country. So
I think that's correct.
So I think we just hunker down and let's just keep practicing good business standards, and let's do business as we should, and I think we'll all be just fine when all this gets settled.
All right, and a good way to start a relationship is with a checking account, and especially when it's free and you've got one.
That's right. Coleman, it's the foundation of our bank in terms of products. We think it's the most important banking product because everyone needs a checking account, and we've got one that's free, and it's free in any way that you want to use it. If you still like doing banking the way I do, which is the old-fashioned way, if you still like writing checks and going into the bank and seeing people, you can do that. Checks are free. If you're more technology-oriented, which Susan is, she's very technical. She likes doing our banking online, and we free ATM or debit card, and so if you want to come in and see our nice offices and see our great people, you can do that. If you want to do great, our technology is terrific, Coleman, second to none, and you can do your banking electronically and through technology, and we can serve you that way also.
All right. Well, thanks for being with us today, and have a good week. We'll do it again next Wednesday.
Thank you, Coleman.
All right. Bob McDonald, President, CEO, Cedar Stone Bank, Lebanon, Mount Juliet Donaldson, Simple Banking, simply better. We're 11 after the hour. Today's the day we feature Cumberland University and Rusty Richardson, Mr. Reliable, always here. He's here this morning. Rusty's Executive Director of Community Relations and External Affairs. And good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
I don't know. You may have missed one or two since we started doing this, but you're just always here and nearly always bring somebody with you.
So far, I'm batting 1,000, so I want to keep that record going.
Oh, great. Well, I guess we need to talk about a thing that took place recently, the Symphony on the Lawn. I know you're proud of what happened there.
Oh, absolutely. There's been so much that's happened since I was here last month. Just literally 3 days after my last appearance, we had Symphony on the Lawn. The first time back in 2 years after the COVID shut down the Symphony. And just a wonderful evening, and we think it's the largest crowd we've ever had. It was on a Saturday night, which is unusual. In the past, it's generally been during the week. Mm-hmm. But we think we had 1,200, 1,300, 1,400 people. It's hard to really get a count.
Right.
They're so spread out. But just a great evening for the community, and so proud to be able to offer that free concert to everyone in your listening area. So just a great evening.
I've heard nothing but good things about that, really.
And well, it was just a terrific thing. We were a little worried about the construction in front of Memorial Hall, how that would impact it, because that started that same week, and there were fences up, there was dirt being moved, there was construction equipment. But we explained that to people, and they just adjusted accordingly and kind of shifted down a little bit on Memorial Lawn, and it worked out fine.
I don't think it made a bit of difference.
Not a bit of difference, but they got to see that
Right.
work was going on, and the project and the progress that Cumberland continues to make. And I know Dr. Stum is still hoping that it's going to be complete by the time the students come back about a month from now. We'll see how it goes. That we're going to continue to be optimistic like he is.
Well, are you making a prediction?
I'm making a prediction that I'm going to continue to say exactly what he says. How's that? That's my prediction this morning.
You got some
but that's not the only project we've got going on. We've got renovations starting in the science labs, thanks to a very generous gift by Peter Schulert and his wife. Those projects will continue throughout the fall. We're doing about a $300,000 renovation on the science lab. Some of the classrooms are being completely redone. There's just work going on everywhere on campus And it's so exciting to be a part of it and to see that progress.
You want to do a Camp Fame recap quickly here?
Sure. That was the other big event that we've had since the last time I was on. We had approximately 240 students, second graders through high school, from every school in Wilson County, public, private, homeschooled, you name it, for Camp Fame, which was the Fine Arts Matter in Education, our arts camp. It was a day camp put on by Aaron Reinscheld was the director, with a lot of other instructors involved with that. It was a week-long camp. They studied either fine art, dance, band, or theater. And then on the 25th, that Saturday, they actually had a showcase. They could show off everything they'd been working on that week. So again, the second year for that camp, we had a 50% increase in the number of students this year from last year, and we expect another 50% for next year. So plans are already underway for the third Camp Fame, which will be next June.
All right, we need to go to a break, but do you want to introduce the guest you brought quickly, and then we'll go to a break and we'll talk more with him.
Sure. Pleased to introduce one of our newest employees at Cumberland University, Joey Clark. He's the Executive Director of Marketing and Communications. He's been on staff a whole week now, so he is drinking water from the fire hose, the proverbial statement, and we'll hear more from him after the break.
Well, Joey, good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you, Coleman. I appreciate it.
All right, a break right here and more coming up on Coleman and Company FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. It's all brought to you by Bates Ford, and they've got that regular oil change, $34.95 up to 5 quarts oil, tax and disposal, $16.73. West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. It's been pretty slow this morning on 65 southbound, trying to get through Robertson County from that earlier crash around the 118 in the Portland area. That backed up traffic into Kentucky pretty good. Hopefully that'll start to untangle and move a little bit better there on 65 southbound through that section of Robertson County. Right now, it's still pretty slow. Now, it's busy coming out of Wilson County right now on I-40 coming through Mount Juliet. Hey, if you're looking to buy or sell a home here in Middle Tennessee, Greg Sanford is your professional realtor. Log on to gregsanford.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
This is Bob McDonald with Cedar Stone Bank. For 17 years now, we've been serving our communities in Lebanon, Mount Juliet, and Donaldson. We can serve you in the way that best fits your needs. We have all the banking technology. We have beautiful buildings, but more importantly, we have great people. On behalf of our board of directors, I thank you for banking with us. If you don't currently bank with us, please come by and visit us in any of our locations. It would be our pleasure to talk with you about how simple banking is simply better.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Charles Lehman is asking for your vote for Wilson County Trustee August 4th. Charles grew up in Noreen and has been a lifelong resident of Wilson County. Charles Lehman brings a strong education tempered with decades of experience to provide the citizens of Wilson County with a rock-solid background for their next trustee. Working as an appraiser for the comptroller of the Treasury for 34 years and going into real estate after retirement, Charles brings a strong foundation to serve as your next trustee. Paid for by committee to elect Charles Lehman Treasurer.
About his trip with Susan and Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us. We have our Cumberland guest this morning, Rusty Richardson, always, and Joey Clark is with us, Executive Director of Marketing and Communications. And Joey, it's been you for a minute here. And I'd like to know, if we can, a little bit about you, your background, where you're from. I'm sure our audience wants to know that.
Yeah, absolutely, Coleman. So I'm from right here in Lebanon, have been here my entire life with the exception of school. Graduated from Lebanon High School, left to go to UT Knoxville, was there for about 4 years. Came back, and oddly enough, we've laughed about it this past week. My very first job post-college was at Cumberland University for a little under a year as an admissions counselor, an enrollment specialist there, but went and got a master's degree from MTSU in higher education administration, worked there for about four and a half years, and then have been most recently working with a mortgage lender in Nashville as their director of communications and marketing, and have been back at Cumberland for, like Rusty said, a full week now, so I'm just getting my feet wet again.
What all are you going to be doing?
Yeah, so our team, there's a group of 3 of us, and we are primarily responsible for supporting 2 main offices on campus. One of those offices is obviously our admissions and enrollment team, so working directly with Reggie Blair and his team of admissions counselors as we look at continuously growing the university, and then supporting the advancement office as well, as we work with community partners and relationships in all of their marketing and communication needs, digital, print, signage, looking at some potential event management, just a number of ways that we can really be a resource to the university as a whole.
Well, now you have something to do with academic coaching.
So I have got some support that I will provide for the academic coaching. So we're excited about that. Our team of student support services has just hired 3 academic coaches that will be on campus starting in the fall. Each one of those individuals will work directly with one of our academic colleges. And so they'll be there to support students that are trying to figure out what their best career pathway looks like, if they're potentially struggling with time management or, just an adjustment to college for our incoming students, but then also supporting our current students on campus as well.
Is this something new? Have you had this before?
It is a new team for us at Cumberland. So we've had support services has been there in a couple of different capacities, but these 3 academic coaches are new to the staff this year. We're excited about being able to have the pilot program with them and really be able to continue to invest in our students.
Well, I want to ask you, have you got a designated parking space yet?
I have not. Rusty's working on that for me, so that's a week 2 project.
I think Rusty's working on it for him.
I am. One of these days.
That's sort of a joke. Rusty's always talking about he needs to get out of here as fast as he can so he can go find a parking space.
I would believe it. I would believe it.
Okay, we're back to you, Rusty.
Yes, a big announcement, and then I'm going to go back to Joey here in a minute to talk about Welcome Week. But a big announcement was literally just made yesterday, and it concerns the Noakes Lassiter Field, the football field. And the announcement is that immediately after this coming football season, that stadium is going to be renovated. It's going to be a turf field. New jumbotron, new sidewalks. So by the time we're ready for the next football season, that will be complete. That's a huge undertaking. It's been on Ron Pavin's wish list for a long time, but they now have the funding for that, or most of the funding. I'm sure they'll still take more. But that's a big announcement. It really changes so much of what we're able to do in that facility. And opens it up to more things for the public, because the turf field doesn't suffer the wear and tear of a grass field. So it really becomes a year-round type facility for us to use, and we're so happy to be able to that change is going to be coming.
Well, isn't Oaks Lassiter Field one of the better ones? I mean, I think there are people who hated Lebanon High fans who hated to give that up.
Yes, it's
what we have now, actually.
It's a great stadium. It has a much higher capacity than our old stadium, which was on campus, which is now the soccer stadium. So it's a great addition, being able to change that grass field to a turf field, and with all the other additions, electronic additions and things like that that'll be added to it, make it more consumer friendly.
Yeah, and those things have come a long way in a fairly short time. I mean, you used to just have the scoreboard, and
yes,
that was it. And maybe that's all you've had. But you're going to really get into this century then.
Absolutely, and it's going to be, again, it's a long project, and it's scheduled to start right after the end of this year's football season, which will end in November. And then by the time the next season rolls around, it'll be ready to go.
Well, it'll be a little bit different, but certainly a welcome addition. And the turf thing, do most of Cumberland games played on turf, or
most of the teams do. Most of the other schools that they go to have turf fields now, so it's keeping up with those other schools.
Right. Got it.
And the other part of that announcement, in conjunction with the opening the renovated stadium, in the fall of 2023, we're going to be adding another sport, and that's women's lacrosse, which is one of the fastest growing sports in the NAIA. So it's, again, more progress, more things being added at Cumberland.
I'm going to have to see what lacrosse is all about. I've heard about it. I'm not sure I've ever seen a lacrosse game.
I'm with you with that, so it'll be a learning curve for both of us.
All right. Oh, Do we need to, we didn't talk about Welcome Back Week.
Let's go
I
back to
sorta
Joey and
missed
have
that
him
one.
talk about Welcome Week.
All right, Joey, that's yours, huh?
Yeah, so we are excited, have just started our conversations and meetings with a number of campus partners to really prepare for students returning back to campus in the next month and a half. It's wild. We joked earlier about how quickly summer has gone by, and it seems like that happens faster and faster every year. But working together as a campus community and then with our partnerships outside of campus to really just get ready to welcome students and families back to Lebanon, back to Wilson County. You know, it's an exciting time for us each year to see an influx of people return back to the place we all spend our each and every day. And so have really been working with outside partnerships like the City of Lebanon to really prepare for just embracing the return of those students. Each year there's a number of annual events. We have a picnic on campus where a number of our community partners are able to attend. So started really thinking through what does it look like to welcome those students back as they come back to campus for orientation, as they get ready to move in and be back in residence halls on campus. So we're excited about that, and we'll be working with our advancement and alumni office to really partner with alumni-owned businesses in town, with Cumberland supporters in town to really just create that presence of welcome and reassurance and opportunity as our students join us back here soon.
When is the date for students to arrive and school to begin?
The fall athletes come back 2 weeks from today. They come back on the 27th of July. That's when they check in. And the other students come back around August 19th, 20th. First day of class, I believe, is August 22nd.
Little bit later than our public schools here.
A little bit later, yes.
Yeah, but you're on the semester, and then the semester goes for a while. There's a little break there. You come back for the spring, and then about May you have another graduation. What's enrollment? Enrollment look like a record enrollment.
Looks like a record enrollment. The goal again is to have a total of 3,000 students when we start the fall, and the enrollment admissions department's working hard every day to reach that goal. They have another registration day this Friday where they'll register over 100 more students that will be coming in for that. And literally it's a 12-month process because they're still working on the incoming class for this year, but August 1st, applications open for the class for next year. So it's a never-ending cycle. And they're doing, Reggie Blair and his whole team are doing just a terrific job on getting the word out, on meeting with students, recruiting students. And even though school is rapidly approaching, it's not too late if someone changes their mind on where they may have thought they wanted to go. And every year we have a lot of people that decide for one reason or another, no, I'm going to stay closer to home, and Cumberland's a perfect choice for that. So if they have questions, just reach out to our admissions department, and they can walk them through the entire process and go for that. The other thing they work on very closely, we just announced a partnership with Tennessee State, is a transfer pathway, which allows students from Tennessee State, Nashville State, to transfer up to 70 hours in for credit to continue programs that may not be available at Nashville State or to pursue different majors. So that's a big agreement between Nashville State and Cumberland, and we look forward to having more agreements like that.
We are fast running out of time here. Joey, we covered everything you wanted to, as far as you know.
We did, yes, sir.
All right,
Yes, sir.
well, thank you for being with us. Now, we've got two other things you want to mention.
Yes, as Bob McDonald mentioned, we have Patrons Party coming up this weekend at the home of Denise and Lynette Moore. Always a beautiful location for a party. Tickets are still available for that. They can just go to the Phoenix Ball website, since it's associated with the Phoenix Ball, to buy tickets, or they can call me at Cumberland, and I'm happy to work with them on that. It's a great outdoor party, very casual, around the pool, so it's not the black tie gala like the Phoenix Ball. So shorts and T-shirts. And
well, that's totally different.
That's totally different. So we've got that coming up on this Saturday. And then you're starting to see lots more advertisements about our big homecoming event in October, where we'll be featuring Tim Tebow as our guest speaker. Already people are getting tickets for that, and they can get those through the athletic department.
Well, now, is there a limited number of those available?
There are a limited number of those available because we'll max out what that stadium can hold. We're looking for standing room only crowd for that. And so if you want tickets for that, don't hesitate. Reach out
This
now.
will be at Noakes Lassiter Field.
This will be at Noakes Lassiter Field.
Several thousand can get in there.
Well, normally we have 2,500 to 3,000 at a game, and they're looking at double that for this event, if not more. So
I'm not
that's,
sure what the seating capacity, but I would think it's at least 4,500, 5,000.
yes, that's correct. So we're looking again at standing room only, and here in the coming weeks, and certainly the coming months, you'll hear lots more about that as we get closer to that event.
Outdoor thing, is the fire marshal as concerned as they would be if it was indoors?
No, not at all, because you don't have limited access points like you do when you're inside a building.
Okay.
Our structural engineers might be concerned, but not the fire marshal.
Okay. Well, that's on October 8th, and most people know who Tim Tebow is, and somebody has pulled off a real thing for Cumberland here to get him here, I believe.
Well, we're delighted that he's going to come. He's got a great message. We're delighted because we know MJ is such a big Tim Tebow fan from Florida that she's going to be happy. So, and we're planning on her playing a prominent role in that event.
Okay, all right. Well, we've dispensed a lot of information here this morning, but thanks as always, Rusty, and Joey Clark, again, thanks for being with us, and congratulations on your new position here.
Thank you, Coleman. I appreciate it.
And thank you, Rusty. We'll see you next month.
Thank you, Coleman.
That's part one of Coleman and Company. We hope you'll keep it here for more. FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Bates Ford and that regular oil change, $34.95 up to 5 quarts oil, tax and disposal, $16.73 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Traffic still limping along a bit on 65 southbound trying to get out of Kentucky. It's been rough trying to get down through Robertson County this morning on an earlier accident. Traffic still looking decent right now on 65 through Goodlettsville. It's just heavy. We would expect 65 south at Trinity Lane. Watch your speed through Kingston Springs, Pegram as you make your way I-40 coming in from Dixon County. Hey, Gatlinburg Wine Cellar, they're home of the world famous cotton candy wine. Check them out today at GatlinburgWineCellar.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
This is Philip Etherly with Absolute Rental and Supply. Whether it's cleaning, painting, remodeling, or simply getting better organized, we have the tools and equipment to get the job done. Scaffolding, paint sprayers, ladders, power saws, portable heaters, temporary lighting, generators, hardwood floor staples. From wallpaper steamers to bulldozers, Absolute Rental has what you need. Call 615-443-RENT. Absolute Rental and Supply. We have what you need.
No rain chances to worry about today as we head for a high of 90 degrees with some clouds out there. This evening is looking mild, overnight low of 65. Same setup for the rest of your work week, daily highs around 90. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's a look at your forecast. I'm number one Ned.
Welcome to part two of Coleman and Company. It's a Wednesday and time for us to talk about Herc Rental. Keith Illy is with us this morning, and we welcome you back. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I had a nice little vacation, feeling refreshed.
Well, good. There's nothing like getting away for a few days. Did you do anything special?
You know what? So I have 4 kids. I don't know if I've said that, but so my vacations conclude playing travel sports. And so that's any vacation I take, it's always traveling somewhere for my kids.
Well, of course, Keith is now in charge of Herc Rental, which is formerly Absolute Rental and Supply at 1325 West Main in Lebanon. Still got that same phone number, 615-443-RENT, and I hope you're staying busy this summer.
The phones have not stopped ringing. We are, last night we had, I don't know if it hit really here, but we had a big rainstorm, but it hasn't slowed business down at all. And we needed the rain. We both know that, so...
Well, I think, I don't believe we got any rain at my house, but it rained around us, and it over towards Murfreesboro and Woodbury and that area. I think they even had maybe some wind damage or whatever, but it rains in spots, but
yep.
We do need the rain from time to time because it has been pretty dry.
Yeah.
But I don't know how that plays into your business necessarily, but the weather does dictate what kind of business you're going to have a lot of times. But you're ready for whatever comes.
It does, but you know what? The good thing about a company like ourselves, we are so diversified. We have, we rent things that are needed for, when it rains. We have pumps, submersible pumps, all different sizes depending on what you're doing, what kind of project you have. So we find ways to stay busy. When it does get really, really cold and rainy, well, that does slow down a little bit, but we still tend to keep the doors open and we're moving along.
Well, there's a lot of people seem to be moving earth, moving dirt.
Yeah.
And you've got equipment for that. I bet you're staying pretty busy with all kinds of that now.
We are. That's definitely the type of year it is, or time of year it is right now. A lot of earth moving. There's a lot of projects going on. So thank you, Lebanon. And we're in the process right now. We're starting to see some new fleet show up into our Lebanon market here. And so we're from bigger excavators like rubber track excavators, like a KX80 size, which you might not know what that is, but it's like a 25,000 pound excavator. All the way, all new core drills. We're trying to, replenish all the fleet and just start adding to what Phillips already created and did a good job with.
Well, you are appealing, I think, maybe even more appealing now with the bigger equipment to contractors than maybe you have before. And maybe where they might have gone somewhere else, they can come to you now?
Yeah, and we have, like I believe we talked about it in the past, but I'll mention it again and make sure that people know, but we do have a full flooring division. So we handle, we carry everything from scrubbers to clean like floors, or if you have a shop that you're trying to get clean, and so we carry these walk-behind scrubbers, sweepers. We have grinders. If you have a home project you're trying to do around, a lot of people around their pool decks, it will start raising with trees, and then to grind down the edges to get the concrete level back out. So we carry those grinders, and we are in the transition of starting to move some of these things over to the Lebanon store.
Well, you've got a good location here, and I don't think we can brag about that too much. Philip did a good job when he got that location.
Oh, man.
You've got the big sign up there that can be seen for a long ways off, and I guess it says Herc Reynolds by now.
You know what? No, that's a long story. I'll save that for another day, but no, right now it does still say Absolute Rentals. Right. And that sign, he's did a great job with marketing, and you can't miss it. When you drive by it, you're going to see it. So it still does say Absolute Rentals.
Well, you're still doing just about everything Philip was doing, plus the extra larger equipment and so on that you've got. You're able to serve contractors even better. And I'm working on that even more, no doubt.
We are. We have a few big things coming up here really soon that we're doing. The one thing we've probably changed a little bit are our hours. And we went to 7 to 12 and have kept it that way on Saturdays. Only because help is so hard to find. And we are, when we are there, we want to make sure that we're able to service people the way that Phillips always done as Absolute Rentals. And so we are looking for equipment coordinators. We need them badly. But at this time, and we've been able to take care of everybody's needs with our new specials of picking it up on a Friday, drop it back off on a Monday. So it really hasn't affected too much business. And people, we've posted signs to let everybody know, hey, come in 7 to 12 on your Saturday, pick up whatever you need, and you can bring it back Monday morning. Or if they're needing propane, we sell propane, and nobody else around really does it. So we are selling that. And so people just need to get up and get over here a little bit sooner.
What about your pressure washers? This is a time of year for those. I'll bet you're staying busy with them.
We are. This is a time of year where people are trying to clean up their, they're doing their summer projects, and it has to do a lot of time with pressure washing their house or doing their floors, or so they're staying busy, and we have some more products coming. Like we're going to be carrying a towable pressure washer that has a water tank on it. And so people, if they don't have a source for water, they'll be able to just take and pull that right up to their job and pressure wash down whatever they need, and they don't have to worry about the water.
Well, that's that makes it easier for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
So you're going to have a good availability of those then.
Yeah, we're going to start with one of them and see how it goes. I mean, it's going to be one of those kind of test trial things because we haven't really carried traditionally a lot of them, but we do see a need for them. So we wanted to try it and see if the Lebanon market might need them.
You still got bulldozers?
We do have bulldozers. we even still have the
Wallpaper steamers?
Yep, we still have the wallpaper steamer.
Well, that was always a sort of a funny line to me, from wallpaper steamers to bulldozers, from small to large, and you've got so much in it, and even adding more again. Speaking out to the contractors and helping some of those that you maybe didn't have some of the things they needed before. So that's something additional that Herc is offering now.
Yeah, and we do have something just to talk real quick on it. So it's called ProGen, and what it's going to do is it's a system that we're coming out with, almost like a Uber. So if you called and you needed a piece of equipment delivered, when our truck's getting ready to leave, it's going to ping you and let you know driver is on his way. He is approximately 5 minutes away from your location. So it's going to be it's pretty exciting. So I'll get deeper into that as soon as that's all rolled out. And
But have you already started or just about?
We have actually rolled it out. It's in the initial phases, and we're going through. We're having to make sure everything is GPSed, and a lot of those type things that it's going to benefit is the contractor. But where a homeowner is good for them is as far as delivery goes. They're going to be able to see when it's being delivered, the driver, who it is showing up with it, and the communication. We want to make sure that communication is there.
Well, there's some people who are able to pick up and bring back, and it depends on what the piece of equipment is a lot of times. But for those who need that, that's great service, and there's a nominal charge, I understand, for that. And that's if you have it delivered and picked up, you pay a little for that, but sometimes it's more than worth it.
Yeah, and we're trying to keep that reasonable with costs going up in fuel, and sometimes time is important to people, so they don't have the time to come down there, and that's where we're able to work with them and have our trucks deliver for them.
Well, Keith, we might mention one more time, you could use some workers, and
yes.
What kind of requirements? Strong back and willing to work.
So like I've said, I've started in the yard washing equipment and starting from the beginning and worked my way through the company. So it's just a starting block and coming in as an equipment coordinator. And so what that entails really is that you're going to be helping load customers. You're going to be trained on how to operate all the different types of equipment. You'll be washing equipment, and that's where you'll start, and then you can work your way up from there.
Normally a 40-hour week?
It's a 40-hour work week, full benefits, 401k, stock purchase options.
That sounds good.
It is. It's a good place to work, and
need to come see you, or can they apply online?
They can apply online. They can go to hercrentals.com, and then they can go to careers, and we have multiple locations all over the country. So even if you are getting ready to move, go onto hercrentals.com under careers, and you can pull it up right there and look at any job listing that's open for Herc Rentals.
All right. Well, we appreciate you being with us this morning. And again, Herc Rentals, formerly Absolute Rental Supply, 1325 West Main in Lebanon. That phone number is the same, 615-443-RENT. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right. We're going to take a break right here. We've got more coming up here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
All right, it's 7:42. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank Absolute Kubota. They have Red Max, complete inventory, weed eaters, blowers, hedge trimmers for the commercial user and homeowner with up to a 4-year warranty. 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. They're moving a wreck on 40 westbound at Spence Lane. It's got traffic extra slow there as you come past the airport there through that section of Donaldson on 40 westbound. Again, at Spence Lane, traffic's really busy. 65 trying to get out of Kentucky. That's been slow. Go up there around the Portland area from an earlier crash. Hey, looking to buy or sell a home, maybe some land or a farm in Middle Tennessee? Greg Sampert is your professional realtor. Log on to gregsampert.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Contact Stephen Lowry Land Clearing for all your land clearing needs. Whether it's clearing trails for ATVs, reclaiming pasture, or clearing your land of brush and trees, Stephen Lowry can get the job done. He works closely with customers, adjusting to make changes as you want. Steve Lowry will give you quality work at a price that you could afford. He will also beat any written estimate. Call Stephen Lowry at 615-970-8154 for all your land clearing needs. That's Stephen Lowry Land Clearing, 615-970-8154.
Gregory Dental Group in Lebanon is a family dental practice located across from Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. They offer cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and now featuring new digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments. No insurance, no problem. Call about our discount plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs. I look forward to meeting you.
Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322, West Medora Parkway across from Gibbs Pharmacy.
Coleman and Company, welcome. It is part 2 here on a Wednesday morning, and I've got Larry Tomlinson on the phone with me. Larry is the chairman of the Board of Education, and to be honest, I was expecting Jeff Luttrell this morning, and whether we got our wires crossed or what. But Larry, good morning to you. Good morning. I'm doing well, and it is good to hear from you. And tell you what, before we get started on anything else, I look at Facebook every once in a while. My wife looks at it a little bit more than I do, and I know that you and your wife and some other people had a trip to Alaska. And tell us a little bit about your fun this summer.
Well, Coleman, it was a great trip, and I noticed Alaska has on their license plate the last frontier, and that's really what it is. It's just so vast, and I guess the thing that I was impressed with the most was, all the beautiful scenery, and it's still so much of it's undeveloped in Coleman. There's a lot of areas there that people still don't even have electricity, and something that you would probably be interested in, and you'd like. They pay people to live there, so. That was a thing that was interesting to me. But
you run into some problems.
They were in a drought up there, just like we were. And our year, they hadn't had a lot of rain. I was talking to one of the locals on Ketchikan, and she was telling me that they normally have like 130 inches of rain a year, and they were dry. The streams were running low. The salmon was having a hard time swimming upstream to do their spawning, and but it was a great trip. We did we was on land for a while, and went up into Denali National Forest, and got to see the Mount McKinley, or what they call Denali now, and we were. It was a good day that we were there. We got to see it really well, and we saw. I was disappointed didn't get to see any grizzly bear or anything like that, but we did see moose and a lot of bald eagles and that kind of thing. But it's just the vastness of it, how big it is, and how undeveloped it is what I guess what impressed me the most about it. But I would certainly recommend anybody going if they ever get that opportunity, and it's something to see. And of course, we were on a cruise for about 6 or 7 days, I guess it was, and went to various islands, and how that a lot of them, the only way that those people have getting anything into them is either by air or by ship. So and everywhere you looked around, there were containers. That's how they get all their stuff in. But And Pam made a bunch of beautiful pictures and things. It'll be something we can always talk about.
Well, did you have some problems before you got home?
We didn't. Now, Dr. Wright and Gary did.
Okay.
And Dr. Wright, her husband Gary, before we were allowed to get on the ship, you had to have a COVID test 72 hours in advance. Well, we were already there, so we couldn't do that. So when we got ready to get on the ship, Gary tested positive, and so he and Donna wasn't allowed to get onto the ship. So they had to come back home, and their flight got canceled, and it took them like 3 days to ever get back home, and it was a mess. And I guess that was the biggest disappointment that I had. It was Gary and Donna didn't get to see a lot of the things that we did. Now they were able to do the ground deal that we did, the train ride and all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, let's. I'm glad you got to go. Glad you had a good time, and I made it to Alaska once myself. You mentioned Ketchikan. What I remember stopping there, and Juneau, and one other place. Anyway, yep. we were just on a cruise, and other than that, we didn't go anywhere. I'd like to take one of those train rides, but maybe next time. But let's talk a little education here. You are still chairman of the Board of Education for Wilson County. You had a meeting recently, and I think was it because of the 4th of July, you might have. When was the meeting? Was the meeting this past Monday?
Yes, it was. It was Monday night.
Oh, you moved a week, and that's why we had to reschedule, Jeff, and why we've got a little mix up here. But I do appreciate you being with us here. So, just to what happened Monday night at your meeting.
Well, we had a lot of first of all, we had our work session starting at 5. And we went over the agenda and everything as we normally do during our work session. And then we went into our regular board meeting at 6. And we had a lot of policies to cover that we had reviewed earlier. We have a policy committee that meets every so often to go over a certain section of the policies. And we had a bunch of policies to review and pass on first reading. A lot of them were on first reading again, and some of them are on second reading. So we got all that taken care of. I guess the thing that a lot of people would probably be interested in, Mr. Luttrell, our finance director is leaving. He's taking a job in Rutherford County, Michael Smith, and so Mr. Luttrell has split that his responsibilities up into 2 jobs now, where Michael had been seeing, and his predecessor, Mr. Hall, had been being over the maintenance and all that other stuff too. So Jeff is he's going to split that up whenever he hires a new financial director. He won't be in charge of anything other than the finances, and he is going to hire someone that will be over maintenance and facilities. So that was a big thing that he did.
Does that have to be board approved, or is that his direction?
Yes, we approved that. He brought that to us to do that, and the monies that will cost is already in our budget, and so it won't be any change in the money part of it. So that was I guess that's probably the big news that we had, or that Jeff brought to us, and he'd been talking about that for a while anyway.
Well, I'm thinking here that as the school system gets bigger, you've got more children, you've got more schools to build, and then you've still got the finance part of it is growing too. And maybe it's necessary for 2 people.
Yeah, it is, and you know, it's just there was a lot of responsibility, and so it was a good move. It's something that needed to be done, and Dr. Wright had talked about that before she ever left. That was one thing that she saw that she thought that probably needed to be done, and
Well, so are
so
we?
that we voted to do that the other night.
Are we looking for 2 new people now?
Yeah, he's gonna. I think he's both those positions have already been advertised, and he'll be looking to make those hires here. I'd say sometime within the next few weeks. Also, we voted to allow Michael is going to stay on as a consultant for the next little while to help in the transition, you know, as needed on an hourly basis. And one reason that I thought that was important for that to be done, and so did Jeff and the rest of the board, was the fact that we still have money coming in from FEMA, the federal people, on the tornado funds. So we're still working with them on how much money we're going to recover through from the tornado damage it received down at I guess it was at West Wilson Middle and at Stoner Creek. And Michael's been heavily involved in that since day one. And we just felt like that it would be a good thing for Michael to still be have some input on those negotiations and how that was going.
Okay. What about the start of school? I mean, in the middle of, it's not even the middle of July, but August is approaching, and school is going to start again, and summer seems shorter every year to me. But
yes.
how are things looking?
First will be the first day of school.
Huh. What's it looking like at this point?
The teachers report at the end of July for you know, to get things going, but we're starting August the 1st. That's when school will start.
What about our building program, and where are we there, and how are you even now considering maybe another school in a few years?
Oh yeah, we've advertised. We've purchased some land down on Double Log Cabin for a new elementary and a new middle school to be built down there. Some land on Central Pike for an elementary to be built down there. So that's already been finalized. The land's done been purchased. We'll start making plans to get those advertised for, especially the 2 elementaries. Then I think Stoner Creek is moving right on along. I believe Coleman, if things go well, we should be able to move into Stoner Creek, hopefully sometime in October. Then, of course, West Wilson Middle is just now really beginning to take shape and to get the work started down there on it,
Well, having Green Hill High School helped in this transition process a lot, didn't it?
Don't know what we'd have done, Coleman, if we hadn't had that. And whenever it was proposed and built, nobody had any idea that those tornadoes would come through, and it wasn't built for that. But once that all happened, if we hadn't had it where we could have moved some of the kids out of Mount Jude High School in over there, and we'd have been in bad shape. Yeah.
Let me ask you, as chairman of the board, I mean, you're concerned with all of it, but the money thing you're always concerned about. And are we in, you think, fairly good shape as far as the money, being able to build these schools, being able to pay our teachers, carry on for the foreseeable future?
I think so. Coleman, our economy here in Wilson County has stayed strong. Our sales tax revenues have exceeded anything that anybody would ever expected. I think the last 3 or 4 years, we have more people moving in here all the time. The property tax has come in. I guess more than anybody expected. Mayor Hutto and the county commission they've been fortunate that they've had, the revenue come in that they've had. And of course ours is part of that. Of course we get a lot of ours as sales tax revenue, and which has helped us a lot with for us being able to pay our teachers and everything. And we've been able to do some raises in this year's budget for our teachers that with money that we had in our budget. And of course our VEP funds were more this year than they were. They increased this year. So yeah, financially, we're in good shape. You can always need to do more. I would certainly hope that we could continue to pay our teachers more and everything, because they certainly deserve it. And another thing that we had the other night that was just announced is our test scores from the previous year were announced, and we got that back from the state. And our scores were really good, Coleman. We showed improvement in every category, which is outstanding and a testament to what our people are doing every day in the classroom. And we were awfully excited about that, and I know that Jeff and his staff, Dr. Cothran, and all the people on the academic side of it were really excited about those numbers. And I don't have them here in front of me. I don't want to see how they were, but
Larry,
I know,
we're out of time.
Every category, we were in the top 3 in the state of Tennessee.
Great. Larry, we're out of time. Thank you so much for filling in here this morning, and we appreciate it very much. Good to talk with you.
Yeah, thank you, Coleman.
That is Coleman and Company for this Wednesday. I hope you'll join us tomorrow. Till then, I wish you a wonderful day.